For your safety, please ensure that you read the full disclaimer located in the description below this video before you start your virtual training. Welcome to our mobility session. My name is Katherine Ricica, fitness and sports instructor out of London, Ontario, servicing Southwestern Ontario. Today we're going to be doing an upper body dominant mobility session. In this session, we're going to be working on our neck, shoulders, elbows, wrists, biceps, triceps, and all in between. Our upper body takes a beating in our day-to-day lives, whether we're working on our posture, if we're sitting at a desk all day or perhaps driving a lot. Maybe from sports or other activities in our lives, our muscles and joints have taken a beating over the years. So today we're going to take a little bit of time, work on our mobility, stability, and range of motion of a couple of joints and muscles. So all you're going to need today is a yoga mat or a soft surface, some comfortable clothing, and perhaps some relaxing music to put on in the background. This would be a great mobility session to do upon waking, upon going to bed, or maybe perhaps after a resistance training session. Hope you enjoy it. Welcome to our mobility session. As you can see, I've taken my shoes off as I do prefer to do mobility sessions without any shoes on. So we're going to get started with doing 4 sun salutations. But before we get started, I do want you to reflect and sort of tune into yourself in this moment and just recognize if you're feeling any tension or any different feelings throughout the body. So maybe your shoulders are feeling a little bit tense, maybe your jaw has been clenched, it feels a little sore. Maybe you've got some sore muscles from another workout that you've done. Maybe you have a little bit of an injury somewhere, maybe that's a little bit aggravating for you right now. So just tune into what you're feeling and just kind of welcome it with open arms and don't pass any judgment to yourself. So we're going to be doing 4 sun salutations, and if you've never done a sun salutation before, no worries, I'm going to be walking you through it. So we're going to be coming up into a standing position. Come to the front edge of your mat, or if you're using a mat or a carpet, just make sure that you're kind of at the edge of it because we're going to be traveling backwards. So feet are going to be underneath of the hips, standing nice, proud and tall here. We're going to be reaching up to the sky, head up, and then we're going to come down into a hamstring stretch, essentially. So we call this a swan dive, or just a hamstring stretch is fine. Fingertips come to the ground or as far down as your flexibility allows. Then we're going to step back into a plank position or a high plank position. Bring the chest down to the ground into a push-up. Bring your chest all the way down to the ground, elbows close to the sides, pushing up into either a baby cobra or a full. Then we're going to be coming back into a down dog, getting a stretch to the hamstring. And then step forward, up, the feet together, raising your hands up, and arms back down. So that is 1 sun salutation. We need to do 3 more. So let's go again. So reaching up to the sky, coming down towards the ground, hands to the ground. Maybe you need to bend the knees a little bit to come down before you get into that plank. Stepping back into your plank position, bringing the chest down to the ground, elbows in, up, feeling the stretch to the back, and then coming forward into that down dog. Maybe you're pedaling out the feet a little bit, trying to get the heels towards the ground, trying to reach those fingertips away, and then we're going to step back up into standing position, hands back up to the sky, and back down. 2 more times, reaching up. Nose dive down, hands on the ground, stepping back into your plank position, coming down, chest down, up with the upper body, pushing back into down dog, and stepping forward. Reach the arms up to the sky, back down. Let's do the last time. Reaching up, nose dive down, step back into plank. Come on down, chest down, reach up. Let's come into a down dog. And now we're going to come back into a plank, tabletop, knees down. All right, there were our 4 sun salutations. Now just take a moment to check in Maybe your heart rate's elevated just a little bit now, feeling a little bit warmer than you were before. Maybe you felt a couple of things, a couple of muscles that maybe you haven't felt in a while, or maybe something that was feeling aggravated before is feeling a little bit more tense now. So hopefully with the mobility that we're about to do, we can alleviate some of that. So we're going to start into a T-spine mobility exercise. So we're going to be coming into a tabletop position. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, toes can be pointed or flexed, whatever you find more comfortable. Releasing the right hand, bring the fingertips behind the ears. Rotate the upper body so that the elbow is trying to reach towards the ceiling. Make sure that you've got your core engaged so you're not just sitting back into the legs. We want to stay our core maintained strong. And we're getting a nice rotation through the shoulders. Release the hand. Now we're going to change sides. So we're going to bring the left fingers up towards the ear and rotate. So our T-spine is just that. It is our spine, but then the T shape is our shoulders and scapula. Hands down, release. Let's do one more on each side. Release the right hand, fingertips behind the ears, rotate up, trying to keep the hips squared off and centered, and just trying to get that nice rotation through the upper body and back down. And it's okay if your range of motion isn't where you want it to be today. You can always let it go just a little bit and bring the elbow back down, but we're aiming to getting it towards the ceiling. Release the hands. We're going to head back into down dog for a moment now. So we're going to push our glutes and our hips up to the sky. Feet are probably going to be about hip width apart. They could be a little narrower or a little wider depending on what you prefer. Try to reach those fingertips forward, sitting back into the glutes, feeling a nice stretch through our lats and through our shoulders. Breathing into it. Maybe we're walking out our dog, which means that we're bringing the heels to the ground. Excellent work. And now we're going to come into a high plank position, so lunging, hinging forward here. So bring the knees down to the ground just while I describe the exercise. So we're going to be doing a scapular push-up. So for this, we're going to be practicing bringing our shoulder blades together and releasing them. So it's going to look something like this. Imagine that you're drawing your shoulder blades together to squeeze a loonie or a toonie in between them. So squeezing the shoulder blades together, really drawing them back, and then pushing forward and letting the spine round a little bit. And then bringing them back together and release. So you can do this from the high plank position if you'd like to add the added challenge of holding the core, or if you prefer your knees, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So let's just do a couple here. Squeezing, and then back together. And I find this is a great counter stretch to do, or counter movement to do, if we're driving a lot during the day, or maybe we're hunched over at a desk. It's a great way to turn on the scaps, pulling that chest back. Let's do one more. And here we go. And let's push it back into child's pose. So reaching those fingertips forward, letting the upper body rest on the front of the legs, letting that head relax. Give a couple shakes no and a couple nods yes. And then slowly come on up. Well done. Next we're going to do wrists, forearms, and biceps. So for the first wrist movement, we're going to just be doing some circles. So bringing the hands together and just simply rotating the wrists. Maybe you're feeling a couple of cracks. As long as it's not painful, we want this to be pain-free. And let's go the other way. During these sessions, it's okay to feel a little tension or feel the muscles and being aware of them, but any pain or too much discomfort, we want to ease off or maybe avoid that stretch altogether. Good. Okay, shake it out. Next, we're going to do a little bit of a wrist and forearm stretch. So we're going to be bringing the fingertips up, arm extended. Fingertips are going to be pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to grab the fingertips and then gently pull them back. So I'm maintaining a slight bend in my elbow here. I'm not hyperextending it out. I want to not lock out my elbow, keep it soft, and then just pull the fingertips back a little bit. And just keep this gentle. Don't reef back on your hands. If you can only get it up to standing or maybe just a little bit past that, that's okay. We're just working on that range of motion. And release. Shake it out. We'll do the other side. Other hand. Here we go. Bring it back. And you might feel a little bit of a stretch here in the forearm. That's normal. And release. Okay, now we're going to do it the other way with the fingertips pointing towards the ground. So my palm and my forearm are facing up, grabbing my fingertips and pulling back. Now I definitely feel a little bit more of a stretch on this side. And switch. Great work. Okay, well done. Next, we're going to do triceps and shoulders. So come into a seated position that's comfortable for you. And for the triceps and shoulders, we're going to bring one arm up to the sky, drop the hand behind the head, grab the elbow, and pull that elbow towards your head. Most people have seen this stretch before, but it is a really great one for the triceps and shoulders. If you've got a little bit more to give, you can always add a slight side bend, but that's not mandatory, just a little bonus. And release. Let's bring it back up. And add that side bend if you've got it. Good work. And release. Okay, we've just got 2 more left. So for the next one, we're actually laying on our backs. So I'm going to bend my knees about a 90-degree angle. Feet are on the ground and I'm lying down. So I'm going to be bringing my arms out into a T position. And right now I'm going to let my knees fall together to the left side and I'm going to turn my head to the right side. So I'm letting my spine be in a controlled twist. So my shoulders and back are on the ground, but my lower back and glutes and hips are off the ground because they're rotated with my legs. So we're really trying to aim to make sure that when our knees are falling to the left, we can maintain our shoulder, our right shoulder, on the ground. And if you wanted to, you could add some arm circles. So taking that right arm, I'm going to sweep it up, and I'm going to go into a clockwise motion here. Just a couple of circles. Feeling it through my shoulders. And then I'm going to go the other way. Let's just do 2 here. Good. Bringing the knees and the head back to center, and then letting them fall the opposite way. And then let's do those shoulder circles here. So let's do 3 each way. Just paying attention to your breathing and any sensations that you're feeling through your body. Maybe there's some muscles waking up or turning on. Excellent. And go the other way now. Great job. And when you're done, you can bring both knees and the head back to center. And then we're going to slowly roll up. We've got 1 more stretch to do. You're going to do the neck next. So again, in a seated position that's most comfortable for you. Standing or sitting nice and tall rather. You're going to bring the hand over the head and gently clasp the side of the head above the ear. And just be gentle when doing this. You're going to pull the head over just a bit. So again, just be gentle. And then we're going to reach the right arm away. And you can flex the hand, or reaching the arm away might be more than enough. I know for me that this can feel a sensation all the way down through my arm here. And maybe you'll just do a couple of little arm circles here. And again, you can have that palm flexed if you'd like a little bit more. And you might feel different sensations between bringing your chin down to your chest versus bringing it up, but we don't want to pull it all the way back, no more than parallel with the shoulder. You may feel some different sorts of stretching. And we'll switch sides, fingertips around top of my ear, pulling it away, and then reaching away with the arm. Now this side I can feel it a little bit more in my traps. So every side is different. And if during this mobility session maybe you felt a few imbalances or one side was a little better than the other, that's completely normal. We all have imbalances. Excellent. And release. So now I want you to take a moment to check in with yourself and see if you feel any different than when you did when you started the session. Maybe you feel that your shoulder is a little bit more relaxed. Maybe your head, your neck's feeling a little bit lighter, not quite so heavy. Maybe your spine's feeling a little bit more mobile. Just check in with yourself and make note of these things. Maybe you can take a few of these mobility stretches and add them into your everyday life. Thank you for joining me today for the mobility session. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Katherine Ricica, fitness and sports instructor out of London, Ontario, servicing Southwestern Ontario. Stay healthy and stay safe.